Back to the channel. Hope you are doing good. So let's understand what is a decorator in Python. So a decorator in Python is a function that takes another function, adds extra functionality to it, and returns the modified function without changing the original function's code. Okay, so what it does basically, if you have a function, existing function, right, you can add a functionality to it. You can decorate this function without changing the definition of this function, right? So let's see in how we can achieve it. So let's say you have this table, load table, and you are loading some data into a table, right? So you call this function load table, and when you call it, it runs some code, right? So you will write your code here, write code here, right? And I'm not writing code as such, but this is my code. Let's say print loading data into table, right? So it is all working fine. Okay. Now your requirement is you want to add some logs to this function, right? So when this ETL load is happening, you want to add some logs that what time job is starting, what time it is ending, right? Now one way is you modify this function. So for example, you can say print, and you will say load starts or load starting, right? And then you will say print, let's say start time and date time dot now. So it will print your current time. Similarly, once the load is complete, your code will run, and then let me add a enter just to be clear, right? And then you will say load done, right? And this is your end time. Okay, so if I just run this is all working fine, right? So load is starting, start time, load, you are loading the data. Once it is done, load done and enter. Now this is fine, but your requirement is you don't want to change this function definition first of all, because this is running in production and you don't want to touch it. Moreover, you want to do it for a lot of other ETL loads as well, right? So you want to achieve this functionality for a lot of other loads. So instead of making changes in each function, you want some generic solution. So what you can do, you can write a decorator. So let me explain how it works. So you will say define, you can give it any name. This is your decorator function name, and it will take your function as a argument, right? So this function name we will pass here, right? We'll see how it happens. And then you define a wrapper here which wraps your function, right? I'll explain why we need it. So we'll say define wrapper, and then here you will call your function, right? This function you will call. So we will say func, right? We'll see how it is passed. And let me print something also. So I'll say print, this is from decorator, right? And then I have to return this function, wrapper function, return wrapper, right? Sorry, return wrapper. Okay. Now currently, if I just run it again, nothing will change. It is same, right? Because we have not used this decorator. To use this decorator on this function, we have to say at the rate and the decorator name. The moment I say this, what will happen? This function will be passed to this decorator. So this load table function will go as a function argument in my decorator, and then it will go inside wrapper, print this, and then call the function, right? So let me run this and we will see. So if you see, I am printing this is from decorator, right? Load is starting and all is happening within the function. Now what we can do, we don't need it here, right? I can just remove it and put it here, right? So I'll print it, right? And once function call is done, I will print these two statements as well, right? That's it, right? Once this is done, let me just take this. Okay, I think, yeah, this is fine. So now what is happening? This function is as it is, right? I have added a decorator. What this decorator is doing, it is printing this or anything, whatever you want to do. Then it will call this function, whatever function you want, you will pass, right? And then it will print this and return the wrapper. So let's see what will happen now. Now again, we are getting the same result, right? So load is starting, start time, load data into table, and load done. So this is your main function as it is, and you added these two functionality, right? Start time and end time. Without changing anything, you just add this, add the TTL logs, right? And this can be done for another function as well. You have hundreds of function. Okay, so this is fine. We understand this is all working. Now let's say my requirement is I have multiple tables, not single table, right? So I want to parameterize it. So for example, in the same function, I have a table name, right? Or let's say let's say I have a table name, right? And then I will say that loading data into table. So I don't want to hard code it, right? I will say table name, right? Okay. So now what I have to do, I need to pass this argument as well, right? So for example, I can call this for sales table, right? And then again, I can call this for, let's say, product table. So now I need to pass this argument. So I will say Control C. I will pass this to wrapper function as well as this function, right? And let me run this. Now it is saying loading data into sales, right? So make sure if you have an argument, you have to pass it, right, to the wrapper function, and again when you are calling it. Now another important thing is that what if I have multiple arguments? Let's say I have a schema as well, and there may be more arguments, but these arguments are not used anywhere, right? It is just used in the function call, and tomorrow you may add more parameter to your function, and you don't want to change your decorator multiple times. So what you can do, you can pass the argument and keyword argument. So you will say star args star kwargs, right? Now it doesn't matter how many arguments you have, right? It will just take it. So you don't have to change your decorator again and again and again, right? And that's it, right? Now if I pass schema as well, so I will say schema dot table name, right? And here also I have to pass the schema. So schema, let's say schema name is DBO. Okay. So this is all fine. Loading data into DBO.sales. If tomorrow I have to add one more parameter, it is fine, right? Let's say I'm passing database name, right? And let's say this is my database name dot schema, and let's say I'm passing my database name as namastesql, right? So I don't have to make any change in my decorator. You see, this is all working fine. Now let's say my requirement is I want to add more functionality to it, right? So we can add more than one decorator basically, right? So let's say I want to handle failures, that in case of failures, my program should not fail. It should give me a proper message. So for example, if I say here a equal to 1 divided by 0, print a, right? So I'll just run. It is failing, right? Division by 0. So I don't want it to fail. I want to handle an exception to it, right? Again, without changing the actual function. So what I will do, I will add another decorator, right? So I'm saying handle failure. What I'm doing, I'm defining a wrapper simply and putting this function in a try except block, right? So I'm putting in the try except block, and then here I'm printing job failed, and this is my error, right? So now let's put it again. So I'll say a equal to 1 divided by 0, right? Print a, right? And I need to apply this decorator here as well. So I will say handle failure, right? And let's run it again. So I will say, let me reduce the zoom. Yeah. So now if you say it is load start time, loading into job failed, division by error. I'll just explain how things are happening, right? So I'm getting job failed and division by 0 and then load done. Okay. Now one important thing here is that this order matters, that which decorator you are calling first, right? So internally how it looks like is when you apply ETL logs first, then handle failure, it will be something like this: ETL underscore logs, right? Within that you call handle underscore failure, right? And then within that you are calling a load table. Okay, so I'll explain what is happening in our case. So you are calling ETL logs first, and to ETL log this function will go this wrapper, right? So let me copy this. So the function which is going inside this is this. In this function this is going, right? So it will start, it will say print, two prints, and these are the two prints, right? Then what it will do, it will call the function. Now what is the function? Function is a wrapper itself, right? Handle failure. So it will go to handle failure and go into try block, and then it will call the function, right? The moment it calls the function, it will go there, right? It will find some error, right? And it will go in the except block. So you see, job, this is getting printed first, then this error is coming, right? So it is printing here, right? So the moment the error is coming, it will go in the exception block, job failed, and the division by 0. Then this function call is done, right? It didn't fail. We have handled the exception. Then it will go back here and print the rest of the statements. Right? So it is all fine. Now let's change the order and we'll see what will happen, right? So I'll just put this first and then this, right? And let me run it now. Now if you see, the end time and successful load is not coming, right? So we'll see what is happening now. So it is something like this now, right? This, then ETL logs. Okay. So we have to go to handle failure first, right? So to this function, we are passing this wrapper, right? So you have to understand like this. Okay. Now it will go inside this, it will go to try block and call the function. Which function? This one, right? So it will go to this function, go there and call this. Here what will happen? It will print these two statements, right? It will print these two statements, right? So it is printing, right? So load is starting and start time, right? So in this, right, we are here. So we are passing ETL logs. So ETL logs will go and then it will pass the function, right? Now the moment it pass the function, it will see the error, right? So this is what it is happening, right? So in handle failure, we are passing ETL logs, right? So it will go inside and this function will be nothing but ETL logs function. Let's try to understand, right? Now we will go there, right? Print these two statements. Then this function will be called. The moment this function is called, there is an error, right? And the moment error comes, it will go in the except block, it will print it, and that's it. The moment we come to except block, it will not further run your rest of the statements, right? So this is how it is working. It might be confusing that when you pass two function, how it happens. So you have to put in this format and run through it, right? I hope this helps. Let me know in the comment section if you have any confusion. Have a good day. Thank you for watching this video till here. And if you really liked the video, please make sure you hit the like button because it really motivates me to create more powerful and strong content for all of you. Also, I see 50% of my viewers are not the subscribers of this channel. So please subscribe because as more subscribers come, I feel more motivated. I feel more energy to create more content, right? So please support me, like the video, share with your friends, subscribe to the channel and keep learning, keep going. Thank you. Have a good day.